What is going on, everyone? Here again, here for you, some Call of Duty Ghost in this week's episode of KEM Strike Saturday. Now, KEM Strike Saturday, if you guys are unaware, it's a series that just started last week, so maybe you're unaware of it, maybe you missed the first episode. It's basically, it's kind of like Moab Monday and Moab Friday, two separate series I did back in Modern Warfare 3, where basically you guys send me in KEM Strikes, I break them down, and post them up. That way, my subscribers get a cool thing to watch, the person that actually got the KEM Strike gets a little bit of exposure for his channel, and overall, it's just a win-win for everybody. So we're going to be doing that again. This one was actually sent in by Deadly Creator, and it's on Blitz. And I like that. I didn't get too many of these KEM Strikes sent in. One, because KEM Strikes are pretty hard to get, I think, anyway. And two, not so many people have capture cards, apparently. So there's only like 4 or 5 people that are actually sending in KEM Strikes. And, last week's episode was with the Honey Badger on Strike Zone. I got 1 Honey Badger KEM Strike sent to me. Well, I couldn't use that. Can't have 2 Honey Badger strikes in a row. Then I got one that was on Strike Zone. We can't have 2 Strike Zone ones in a row. So I had to pick this one. It's a pretty good one. He's playing on Blitz, and he's using the Remington R5 throughout this gameplay. And what he does throughout the video, it's pretty simple, actually. We're playing on Prison Break. Is he stays over here towards this area and he plays cutoff for Blitz. Alright, so the area he's in, what would you even call this? I know there's a waterfall here. One might call the area waterfall, but there's also another waterfall across the way on the map. So I'm not sure if you'd call it waterfall, but for all intents and purposes, I think I'm going to go ahead and call this area waterfall. He stays over here about the entirety of the first half of this match of Blitz, and it's smart because that's like one of the main spawn points. When I play free-for-all here on the map Prison Break, this is the area I'm at. There's tons of spawn points all around here in free-for-all, and apparently the same thing in Blitz. Now, I've played a little bit of Blitz, but not a ton. Like, I'm not like the biggest Blitz person, but it's pretty tried and true. It's like a same kind of concept as a capture the flag game, or even domination, depending on how you want to play it, right? So basically, you have an objective, they have an objective, and the smart thing to do is get between those objectives and stop the enemy team from getting towards your objective. As you can look at the scoreboard right here, he's just trying not to die in garbage time. They're down by 3 right now going into half, and garbage time is kind of a football reference to where a team gets a bunch of points or a team scores during garbage time, which is like the very end of the game, when it doesn't matter, when the outcome has already been determined, and right now it's a matter of the seconds ticking off the clock. That's garbage time. And he was just trying his best not to die right there, and he ends up not dying. And you're going to spawn here. He's going to throw down. He actually has all his kill streaks. He's going to throw down his Maniac for his teammate to use. And he's going to try and push up by himself, which is, I think, a pretty smart thing. He's going right back over here towards the waterfall area, because it's an area where he obviously had tons of success, as well as it's the most crucial point in the map, in my opinion, at least for a lot of different game modes. Now, of course, when you're playing Domination, the B flag's kind of a big thing, but even if you're playing Domination here on Prison Break, the area you're in right now is right between the A flag and the C flag. It's just a big part of Prison Break. And that's what he does. He's going to come back over here, he's going to start slaying again, and his teammates are hopefully going to give him some more captures, because right now, they're still down by 3, despite the fact that he's on this massive kill streak, despite the fact that he's single-handedly spawn trapping the enemy team. It's just quite literally a matter of his team not scoring. Now, one of the things I read a lot, because I'm on YouTube, I talk about Call of Duty a lot, I talk about video games a lot in general, and a lot of people say, well, Nero, I would have better stats, but, I play the objective. Or people just say, like, I've got like a 0.5 KD, but I play the objective really hard. And there's different ways to play the objective. If you're just throwing yourself on like you're in the Red Army, just body after body after body on the objective just to try and win it, we're going to fast forward here through this helo pilot, by the way, because we don't need to see that. If you're just hurling yourself towards objectives, that's not how you play it. Right, you need different rules on your team, and you need to know when to fill that role. Now, his team's not capturing very well, sure, but he's actually doing a key part for his team right now. Like, look at the score right now. His team's winning right now after him using that helo pilot, because he was able to trap in the enemy team. Being the Slayer, being the guy that just gets tons upon tons of kills, that's just as crucial a part of playing the objective as, say, someone who's just sliding, their body in, like the Red Army, just throwing body after body in there, getting in there, trying to capture the goal. There's a bunch of different kind of roles to a team. You kind of figure out which roles you need to fill. And it takes multiple different rules. That's why when you watch like an MLG team, there's a bunch of different rules. There's Slayer, there's Support, there's Objective, there's what was the other one? I feel like there's another one. Slayer, Support, Objective. I'm not sure. But either way, you just kind of learn your role. So he's using the fact that he knows where the enemy team ended up spawning because he flipped the spawns using the Helo pilot. He was able to wrap around from the B flag and come over here and get right inside the big tower, which is a risky move, right? Because the tower is like the most crucial area for like this side. Like anyone that controls this area of a map in whatever the game mode may be knows there's always somebody in the tower. There just always is. And he's actually taking a pretty different route to actually stay underneath the tower. Maybe because so many people expect him to be above. I'm not sure, but either way, he's actually going to pick up the chem strike right there. It's a really long overshoot right there, but he ends up actually getting it. Now he's going to call in his Helo pilot, which I thought was a great idea because he's calling in his Helo pilot. And it's going to be like, the chem strike's going to go off while he's up here. And like the coolest part I ever had in a Helo pilot was I was playing on Whiteout, and Foxhound actually ended up getting the satellite's communication error thing where the satellite comes out and crashes on the map Whiteout. He got that, and I got to see like the satellite come crashing into orbit and down the Earth. And I could see all that from my Helo pilot, and it was cool. But as you can see here on the chem strike, you just can't see anything. But either way, those are pretty good. Chem Strike, I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed commentating over it. And hopefully you guys all enjoyed watching it. Maybe you learned a couple things about the map Prison Break and playing on Prison Break, not just for Blitz, but for any game mode. As well as if you guys like your guys' Chem Strikes featured on next week's episode of Chem Strike Saturday, be sure to send me in a personal message here on YouTube. Just make the title of the message Chem Strike Saturday. Upload the video as unlisted with no commentary to it. And I'll be able to look through it. If it's a good one, if it's one I feel as though I can understand enough that I can break it down. Like one guy sent me in a Chem Strike on Chasm. Yeah, that sounds great. I refuse to play the map Chasm. I have no idea how to break that down, so I can't post that Chem Strike. Just can't do it. But with Chem Strike, I can break down for you guys. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. Hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Chem Strike Saturday. If you did, remember to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
I was banging 7 grand rocks, that's how I roll. I got one